That was eased by we're beginning into their shoegaze. I've just been getting to shoegaze recently a lot. Some classic music. I feel like right now it's already fall. It is the first day of October, so good weather to put on some nice classic shoegaze. And also, the first track we started off was "Staring Out the Window of Your Apartment" by Jeff Rosenstock off his album "Worry," and also getting on a big Rosenstock kick. Really love his music, especially that album he came out. I think it was like this year or last year. Really good. Good afternoon, listeners. Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin. And if you can't believe it, it's Tuesday once again. How are we doing out there, listeners? Hopefully you're all doing good. I'm having a good day. I would hope so. Let's see. What was I planning to speak on for today? A lot of things, really, off the top of my head, obviously. But first off, let's look at the weather for today. Right now in the city of Edinburgh, it is 92 degrees. So that's currently the high right now of 92 degrees. So it's pretty warm outside for today. So, if you're into hot weather, I don't really know much people who are, but if you are, lucky you. Low for today is going to be 68 degrees. So obviously in the evening, if you're going out for a walk or you have a late night class like I do, a nice hoodie, makes you feel comfortable. Feel relaxed. I take my philosophy of propaganda class with Professor Wimberly over there in the education building. Also, if you take the bus to and from college, but a nice jacket, it's kind of cold. This morning, the bus was like pretty cold. Like, usually, I just have a hoodie on because, I want to be comfortable. This morning, I was freezing. I mean, better that it's cold rather than the bus be boiling hot. I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. I was pretty cold this morning. Yeah. Did I fall asleep? Well, obviously, I can easily fall asleep quickly. I mean, my girlfriend can attest to that. I mean, I fall asleep study rooms, on the library floor, on the bus a lot. Yeah, it is what it is. Uh, Anyways, let's look at the next few days. For the next few days, it's gonna be around your low 90s. Apparently, over the weekend, we are in the chance of rain, so hopefully we do get some rain. Obviously, nothing major, but something nice. If you have plants outside, water them. I know a lot of moms out there. Shout out to my mom. She has plants outside our house. I'm not really that good at taking care of plants. I mostly am focused on taking care of my dog or making sure that Sammy doesn't, I don't know, fall on the couch. I don't know why. He likes to sleep on the top half of the couch, but sometimes he'll like wake up and he'll just fall off and hit the couch itself. It's like, obviously it's past, but he's not gonna hurt himself. He's like, he falls over, he just looks up and is like, he just does his little yawn. Oh, it's so adorable. It really is adorable. Um, he's a little gremlin. I tend to notice that. But I think that's just most dogs in general. They're kind of our little gremlins. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the next two tracks. First off, we're going to start with some modern fifth wave emo. I guess you can call it screamo music. And we're going to finish off with some Japanese avant-garde rock from Liberales Denudes. Let's just start off with Raindrops by Ginger Bee. First off, you heard Raindrops by Ginger Bee. Fifth wave emo, it's kind of a messy noise out there, obviously. Obviously, you have, classic, your 80s, proto, pseudo, or, I wouldn't say pseudo emo, but your proto emo acts. Then, obviously, in the 90s, you had your classic, what some people now would say it's not real emo, your American football, but then you also have Captain Jazz, what's their real emo band? Right to Spring. Also, that one band. I forgot what it's called. Sultan of Springs? Is that what it is? No, it wasn't that. It was. Oh, how I forget that album. It's one of my favorite emo albums, but I forgot it. But yeah, that was like one of the earlier first wave emo. Then you obviously in the late '90s you had second wave, early 2000s you had third wave, fourth wave emo. You also had kind of mix of like pop in it, and I kind of don't really like that era of emo. Some of it, a lot of fourth wave emo is good, but that more poppy type, I just can't get to it. I tried listening to it like a couple of times. I can't. I really can't. Maybe it's just me having too much nostalgia for like previous forms of emo. Maybe. But then obviously now we have fifth wave emo, and I'm loving every single second of it. And then you just heard like Rally's New Days. Legendary Japanese avant-garde rock band music. I believe that was from their live recording, the Oz recordings, I believe, from the 1970s. Still sounds crisp, new. I mean, they were ahead of time on their sound. I mean, that more slow reverb sound. I mean, that was released in the 70s. Sounds like something you would hear off of My Bloody Valentine, off their debut in 1991 with Loveless, or even with Swans with Soundtrack for the Blind. They were really innovative, and that's why I was watching an entire deep dive video over over this. I'm just gonna like nerd out over a little bit over Loretta's. They were doing some new noise that was, how would I say it? It was different. Obviously, the backstory. If you There's an entire great video on YouTube. I would highly recommend it. Explaining how the band met. It's wild to think that this is an actual band. And also, I know they're releasing a bunch of their older stuff and live recordings on Bandcamp. I'm probably gonna swoop up for those. This coming Friday, it is Bandcamp Friday, so if you do use Bandcamp, be sure to support your favorite independent musicians out there. It is a tough industry out there, support them. Either buying physical merch or even just buying their digital tracks. Anything helps, especially, yeah, record labels are not that kind. They take a lot of creative freedoms and they take a lot of money from the musicians. Let's throw it back to the 90s with some classic Australian slowcore. This is Blue Tile Lounge. Alright, so we're back already. It is 4:30 afternoon. Welcome back, listeners. It is now starting the second half hour of this show. Slowcore. I began, Blue Tile Lounge is one of those slowcore bands I feel like doesn't get enough respect that I personally get. It deserves. I think it needs some more praise. Obviously, you have classic 90s not shoegaze slowcore artists. The one on top of my head is Red House Painters. Obviously, Mark Kozlik. I still see him as one of the greatest singer-songwriters of his generation. But Blue Tile Lounge, that album was recorded live, and it's not easy to play that slow. Solo. Imagine just with a group of people. It's not easy. I've tried that, and I failed spectacularly. Because maybe I'm just not that good at playing instruments, or I do, but it's mostly like mess with like ambient works or anything like that. So, maybe that's just me. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, on music news, Pitchfork has released their list of the best 100 albums of the 2020s so far. So we're going to take a quick look at a few of those just to see, let me give my 2 cents. Coming out in 97, they have Jamie Branch, Fly or Die, Fly or Die, Fly or Die, World War, coming out in 2023. It was released after, it was a posthumous release. She died at 39 after the album finished recording. So it was released, but it is a beautiful jazzy album. So if you're into it, definitely check that out. Released in 2019, but we're going to count it as 2020. Coming out in 95, we have Blood Incantation with their album Hidden History of the Human Race. I love it. If you're into like that, I wouldn't say it's death metal, but more like that progressive death metal. Definitely, definitely check it out. 92, we got Tyler the Creator with the album Call Me If You Get Lost. Love that album. I'm kind of nostalgic for Tyler the Creator. I'm a bit more nostalgic for Earl Sweatshirt because, I grew up there. I grew up kind of in the projects. So that's just my 2 cents. That's why I kind of find that album more nostalgic. Let's see what else we got here. 75, we got The Smile, A Life for Attracting Attention, coming out in 2022. Obviously, a side project of Radiohead's frontman Thom Yorke and a few other members. Definitely really enjoyed that album. Maybe I'm just a sucker for that. 71, we have Charlotte R. Adigeri and Boris Pupol, Tropical Dancer. I'm pretty sure I just butchered the name. They're French, if I'm correct. Really good French electronic music. Really great. 69, we have Slogo Dysphoria Problems from 2022. Loud, aggressive, abrasive. Love it. Great album. 67, Folklore by Taylor Swift. For all the Swifties out there. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but I do love that album. That is a good album. I think that made my top albums of 2020. 63, we have Chief Keef with For Them. Shout out to Chief Keef. Why not? 62, we have The Microphones. The Microphones in 2020. It's like a 45-minute long song. So it's a song album, or however you want to say that. It's just I don't know. It's one of those long songs. That's an album. 53, we have Dua Lipa with Future Nostalgia. It's been a minute since I've heard that album. Might want to listen to it again. 51, we have The Weeknd with Dawn FM. Released 2022. Really like that. I also like the production. Credits by Warner Trucks Whenever, Daniel Lopatin. Let's get into the next track right now. This is I Will Surround You by Stars of the Lid. That was Stars of the Lid with the track I Will Surround You. That was around 10.5 minutes of soothing ambient noise. I was listening to a lot of that track, believe last weekend. I was trying to fall asleep. Sometimes I have difficulty falling asleep, so I usually put something on my headphones. And I just had that song on loop forever and forever and ever, and I was still unable to sleep. I felt so calm and almost like this warming feeling. I don't know how to say it. Very calming. Very beautiful. Also, listeners, I have to be up early tomorrow. Why is that, DJ Marlon? I have an interview to go to. Thankfully, I'm getting promoted at my current job, so I'll be a team leader. I have my appointment or my interview at 9:30, and then I have to go in earlier because I sign some paperwork, like consent forms, all that, because I have to do some tests. Oh, man, it's going to be difficult. Is the pay going to be worth it? Hopefully so, because, it is a promotion, so, I would expect to get paid a bit more. So for all those listeners out there, please do not bully me at my job. I don't really care, I'm being promoted for working at a pizza place. I'm not mad at that. I'll take that. The last track for today, I decided to throw a left field. We're going to throw back with some chamber music. The track's going to be Vanity of Ages by Sarah Davachi. She is a Canadian ambient musician. I believe she is classically trained. I believe so. I could possibly be wrong on that. Her new album, The Head That's Formed in the Criers Choir, is released on Late Music. Honestly, I'm going to probably put it up there, one of my favorite albums of the year so far. But this is a track, Vanity of Ages, from her 2022 album, Two Sisters. I also just really like the little notes at the bottom of the album. Let me see what it is. Chamber music for concerts in yellow, green, and bronze. I like chamber music, so hopefully you like this, listeners. Alright, listeners, it is 4:59 afternoon. It's going to wrap up this week's show. This week we played a total of 7 tracks, ranging from indie rock, shoegaze, chamber music, fifth wave emo, ambient, slowcore, and Japanese avant-garde rock. As always, this week's playlist will be available on both Apple Music and Spotify. You can find them by following me on Instagram, Watford2003, and leaving the listeners with a final note. Scrambled eggs. That's all I want to say. I'll be here next week, listeners. In the meantime, remember you're listening to Vaquero Radio, the Valley's only student station. Bye-bye.